So hello guys, I'm here with y'all with Rocket Chicken and
Was good.
Hollow Jack, and we're here discussing the Dragon rework. So, in y'all's opinions, do you think right now the update is worth playing after they've essentially ghosted us for a year now?
Do I think it's worth playing?
Yeah.
I think that depends. If you were excited for this update because you use Dragon or you bought Dragon for this update, then no. If you heavily rely on using Buddha in the game, then also no. But if you're simply wanting to grind to more levels, you're unaffected, or you're excited to finally be able to use guns, then I would say
Also, in this situation, Eli slash Rocket Chicken here is the least affected within this update. I'm somewhat affected. Hollowjack slash Scar here is the most affected.
I wasn't affected. I don't use Dragon. I don't use Buddha. I haven't purchased Dragon. Major had a physical dragon fruit in his inventory, and Scar purchased permanent dragon well over a year ago, well before the update was coming.
In my opinion on it, although from my perspective, it is somewhat worth playing since the level cap got raised. The sad part is Buddha got nerfed. The range for it got nerfed, and so I had to switch from using Buddha to grind to using Kitsune, just because the sheer fact of the M1s being better on Kitsune at this point.
Well, I think very much like Eli, it's depends on how you play. If you like Buddha because of how easy it is to play, it's bad. If you got Dragon for the update, it's terrible. You got scammed. And if you didn't anticipate anything for this update, you just wanted all the UI changes and all that, then it's really worth playing for you. But again, with Dragon, if you got definition scammed, you're gonna be pretty mad, and it's not gonna be all that worth to play anymore. And there's actually a ton of people quitting because of this fact. But all I have to say is to just save your tokens you get, and you're probably gonna get a refund and Perm Dragon back.
And with the dragon thing by token, for everybody that either owned a dragon fruit like Major or owned permanent dragon like Scar, you were given a token, either a dragon token or a permanent dragon token, which you could spend on certain kinds of compensation. So the dragon token you can use to spin for a random mythical fruit. It is guaranteed mythical. And the permanent, you can get like different mixtures of game passes and scrolls for swords, money in the game, just various things. Uh, or you can use it to get a discount on purchasing permanent dragon again.
Alright, what do you think the effect on the community and game is from this update? I feel like the community is going to have a really harsh effect on the game, but if they fix it soon enough here, people that have quitted may come back if they can fix this. If not, the game might die.
It really all depends on what their response to the situation is.
People are practically getting scammed over Dragon Fruit, and it's gonna have a bad effect on the community, and people are gonna start quitting box fruits, which I've already seen, and Major has already seen. His friend quit
Yeah.
because the dragon fruit, right? The dragon fruit thing, and that already shows how much of an effect it has on day one. Actually, the hour the update dropped, and so it's just a terrible, terrible thing. If they can recover within the next
Like a week.
3 days, I think it'll be completely fine if they do the right decision. But if they don't, it's gonna be terrible for the game. They're gonna lose a lot of players.
I believe that the game is going to suffer from this. Even within the first hour or two, I looked online in places like Reddit, the Bloxfruits Reddit. I took a look there, and people are not appreciative of what is going on. People aren't happy about it. And I think that if Bloxfruits, the Bloxfruit team, Gamer Robot, if they will have, somebody like Zeals or Uzoth make a public statement, um, and they properly compensate, I think the biggest and most difficult thing is to be properly compensate everybody, which I'll get to in a second. Then I think the game will recover because the game, most of the Blox Fruits online community are people that have sunk dozens, tens, maybe hundreds of hours into this game and know that this team of developers is known for doing some shady things with money and not valuing the player. And so things will probably go back to normal within maybe a few months if they can do things right. Problem is that for people who spent the $50+ to get Permanent Dragon either for this update or in advance, expecting to get a update. They get their free new permanent dragon, Dragon V2. They didn't get that, and there was no communication on the part of Gamer Robot or any of the Blox Fruits development team about that. No, it was never brought up in any of the trailers. It was never mentioned during about the year that the development team was quiet. And so I think the fact that all of these jarring changes have been made without even the slightest heads up or respect from the development team is certainly going to be pushing a lot of people over the edge. Like Scar talked about, a friend of me in Majors who has sunk lots of money and lots of time and effort into this game said they were done. So if they can't put out a good statement and satisfy the needs of the players, the game will take a very big fall from grace. They've put themselves between a rock and a hard place.
If you have any thoughts on this, put them in the comment section. For my thoughts on this, they're just kind of money hungry. With it costing now 5,000
Very greedy.
Robux, it beats Kitsune by 1,000 Robux, which is honestly insane. That's over $60.
Even with the fact that if you had Permanent Dragon beforehand and you get a 50% discount, that's still $30 for something that you already bought, something that you already gave them your money for, and it's not like you're getting that money back. It's really just a lose-lose for the player.
And your thoughts on this, Scar?
I think it's terrible that the people who bought Perm Dragon were given a Permanent Dragon token, which did not give them the ability to get a free Permanent Dragon, but those who got a physical Dragon Fruit had their chance of getting a Perm through their regular Dragon token, which means that the people who paid $35 to get Perm Dragon were less rewarded than the people that got fruits, which you could get lots of dragon fruits.
One is luck-based from trading and rolling, whilst the other one is hard-earned money. A very large sum of it too for being spent on a video game.
Yeah, one is gambling, and one you just can't get it back.
That's hard-earned money.
In correction on what Scar said, since I did have a physical dragon and I used the token, you don't have a chance to get any perm back. You can get any mythical, which most likely includes both of the dragon forms from the update.
I guess the argument that people who simply got a regular dragon through any means were more or equally rewarded depending on your opinion, because with the permanent dragon token, you can get scrolls, which are money only. You can get game passes, which are money only. So it's not like you're getting things that people who didn't spend money could have gotten. But it is a little bit absurd that people who purchase Perm Dragon pre-update, now that the update is out, do not have any form of dragon. So do they not have their permanent dragon? They weren't even given a regular dragon for free. They're not guaranteed a mythical fruit. But the people who just simply got a dragon fruit can end up with one.
Do you think Blox Fruits is going to die due to their choices if they do not fix the problem? I feel like if they don't fix it, yes, the game will die, but in stages. So you have the people who had the dragon, and let's say they don't get money back or any form of thing back, they're going to quit. Like, people have already been quitting on the spot. Then you have people who were mildly effective. They're going to get bored due to just most likely the lack of content after like a month of this. So that's my thing about it, is it may not fully die, but there only may be like at most 100,000 players if they don't fix this.
I think that's an interesting take. I believe that there are going to be different kinds of players. So the people that were scammed out of money like Scar are, very, very likely and very in the right, very justified to just stop playing the game, to boycott, to hate on the game. It's because of this lack of trust in with the developers. Because they went off the grid for a year, didn't give us anything for a year besides a very rare little tip, and they made all of these radical changes at other people's financial expense without any warning or discussion with the community or respect for the community. A lot of people are going to feel a lack of respect and eventually stop playing if the Gamer Robot team does something like this again, or doesn't take the community into consideration again. I feel like that would be the final straw. Myself, I've kind of gotten burnt out and left the game a little bit the past 2 or 3 months up until now because of a lack of content, because it's so monotonous, because the leveling is so poor. So I think the game in its current state, even with all of the improvements this update brought, I think it was focused in the wrong place.
Alright, so what I'm thinking is I very heavily agree with Major that it's going to go in stages. First being all the Perm Dragon users. Perm Dragon users were probably really hyped up for the update, and then they got this update, which absolutely disappointed them heavily. And so there's such a massive chance for them to leave, or they'll either just grind, hoping for compensation of their Perm Dragon.
But I think that wraps it up for all of our thoughts of about this update from all of our perspectives. And so yeah, that is our conclusions on the Dragon update. Thank you Scar/HoloTrack, and thank you Rocket Chicken/Eli for y'all's opinion on this update. Peace.